Our focus to some other breaking developments now coming in. This is news coming in from the Delhi High Court, which has now issued a notice and they're seeking response from Yasin Malik over NIA's plea seeking death sentence for him in the Jammu and Kashmir terror funding case. Remember, there was a small recess that had happened and the bench had then reconvened somewhere around 12:15. We're now understanding the word that's coming in from the Delhi High Court is they in fact have issued a notice and they're seeking a response from Yasin Malik over NIA's plea. Let's bring in our legal correspondent Ananya Bhatnagar, who's been tracking these developments. So there was a small recess, the bench reconvened. What are we hearing after that, Ananya?
Well, the court has now issued notice over, in fact, the petition that's been filed by the National Investigation Agency. Yasin Malik has been asked to be, summoned, in fact, be served through the Tihar jail superintendent, because remember, he is at this point of time inside Tihar jail serving a life sentence. But the bigger breaking news, the bigger aspect of this is that the court has issued production warrants against Yasin Malik, which basically means that on the next date of hearing in August, Yasin Malik will have to be present before the Delhi High Court when this matter is actually heard. So this is something big. Yasin Malik would be here when this particular hearing would take place. In fact, he will also have to file a response whether or not he'll hire an advocate, whether he'll be represented through LAC is something that is a matter of time. We'll get to know. But then this is definitely a big win for the NIA. They have, in a way, this petition has been taken care of. The High Court has issued notice. And whether or not a death sentence is given out to, in fact, Yasin Malik is something that is there. In fact, the Solicitor General of India, who was arguing before the topmost court of the national capital, clearly argued that, if a logic of ingenuity has to be attached, then even Osama bin Laden would have been allowed to plead guilty, and then he could have run away. And he also said that the USA was right in doing so what it did in Abbottabad. But the court actually led away with that particular argument, clearly saying that, the court cannot comment on what USA did was right or wrong. But the big breaking news is that, Yasin Malik would be present on the next date of hearing before, in fact, the Delhi High Court, when the matter is actually heard.
So, as Ananya is rightly pointing out, the big update also is that when the next hearing does take place, Yasin Malik, in fact, will be physically present. But I just want to go back to something that the Solicitor General said when he said that this is a rarest of rare case where death penalty is warranted. What is the kind of argument that is being made by the Solicitor General when they believe that this is rarest of rare case?
Well, constantly the Solicitor General of India, Mr. Tushar Mehta, was appearing for the National Investigation Agency led by Akshat Malik, clearly argued before the court that, he's somebody who's charged with serious charges like 121A, which is waging the war against the country. And he was somebody who was involved, in fact, in the kidnapping of his organization. He had headed that particular organization called JKLF. He was a part of the secessionist movement in the state of Jammu and Kashmir for years. And in fact, during that particular secessionist movement, Rubiya Saeed, who was the daughter of then Home Minister Mufti Muhammad Saeed, was kidnapped. And in exchange of that, 4 people were released, out of which some of them became the masterminds of the 26/11 attacks in Bombay, which is said to be one of the dreadest attack in the country, the terror attack, if we go on it. And in fact, he's constantly claiming before the court that, this is a case of rarest of rare. He is somebody who's a dreaded terrorist and must be put to death penalty because he is somebody who's committed heinous crimes continuously, and in fact was a part of the secessionist movement, tried to wage a war against the country and to separate Kashmir Valley from the country itself.
Okay, Ananya, we'll have to leave that conversation there. Thanks a lot for getting us all those details. We'll keep tracking all these developments and a lot more, but for now, we're slipping into a very short break.